Welcome to the Under the Dome Roundtable Live. Martha, well, let's introduce ourselves.
I'm Martha Southgate.
I was hoping you'd be Martha. And you are?
I'm Troy Heinrichs from a fellow Under the Dome podcast.
Yeah, well, what show are you on? Let's tell what a show we're on.
I am on underthedomeradio.com, one of the originals, I guess.
Do you want to give any information about that?
Not really. I mean, it's a...
Well, you give a website or something.
We absolutely want to thank everybody that's been listening to any Under the Dome podcast, whether it's ours, Chester's Mill Report, the Chester's Mill Gazette, or the Under the Dome podcast out of Canada with Mark DeCote. It's just been a really interesting 3 years, and we're just here as a support group now for each other and for all of you.
And it feels like about 40
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
You know what's weird?
It actually only feels like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? All the shows, we all get along so well.
Yes.
Like we've been involved in other shows where it seems like there's competition. Like, oh, well, if you're on that show, I'm not going to talk to you. Not the Dome shows.
No.
Maybe we're all just domer for watching it, but we all
have just the
get along.
brain damage.
Well,
from
Big
it.
Jim told us in the first episode with Sheriff, right? We're all in this together.
That's right.
That's been our mantra the entire time.
And then our hearts explode when the pacemaker comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we
Martha
do-
and I are on.
We do the Chester's Mill. Okay, kind of.
Is your mic on? You're so quiet.
I have it turned on. We do the Chester's Mill Report, Rob and I.
Yes,
With
and
Olivia.
We were an original show also.
Yes, and so from day one, Rob and I did it for the first year. Then we brought in Olivia.
Yes.
And she is so sad she can't be here today. You better be watching, Olivia. Although we changed
Olivia.
the time. Did
So
you tell her?
I do want to say something before we start, because one of the things we're doing here, obviously we're doing a fundraiser for Ben, but one of the things that started the idea, the kernel that started it is the 2-year anniversary of Southgate Media Group. And the way it started 2 years ago in July, Martha and I were watching the pilot to Under the Dome. And Martha turned to me and said, why don't we do a podcast about this?
Yes.
And we had our little MP3 recorder, the one that is sitting right there.
The one that Julia uses in the show.
The one that Julia uses that does not have a pass lock on it like hers did.
That is so funny.
So dumb. And we recorded it, and we finished recording and went, how do we get this into the computer?
We've come a long way.
A month later, we celebrated 100 downloads.
Yeah.
A month later. And here we are,
Now
2
we're
years
at like
later.
103.
We have 103 downloads.
No.
No, that's not true.
I was going to say it was 108.
Yeah, it's 108 because Troy and Wayne listen to every word we say.
Exactly.
Okay, so
that was how it
this
started.
lady would like to know what happened on Thursday.
Who wants to do a recap?
This past Thursday or Thursday before? Just 2 days ago?
The one like Electa or something it was called?
It basically...
Ejecta.
Ejecta,
Let's see.
whatever.
How did I do my recap the other night? A bunch of meteors hit the Earth. Everybody kind of sat and cried in a corner. People got drunk, and people had reactions to certain things that were happening around them.
There was a wall of
and
flame.
then there was a wall of flame that barbecued the entire outside world and scene.
No, not seen.
No, there was a
There was a
lot
wall
more.
that barbecued the outside world, and then at the very last second, a radio message was coming in on something saying, is anybody there? Which means somebody's alive out there, because the way the show set it up, everybody outside of the dome is dead, but not.
The assumption, though...
It
so
better
Unless
not
it's somebody
be
in the
Melanie.
dome.
This is exactly what I was thinking, because if you're a book reader, because Under the Dome is a novel, there is actually a faction of people at the end of the book when the barbecue happens on one part of town, and there's one person who's actually on the other end of town hiding under a sack of potatoes. So I'm thinking it's somebody in the dome trying to say, hey, help me, save me from the kinship, please.
It's like that
Save us all
movie.
from the kinship.
It's like that movie, Have You Checked the Children?
That's what I was gonna say, When a
And they're-
Stranger Calls.
When a
Yeah,
stranger
Stranger
calls,
Calls.
and they
They're
say,
calling
get out of
from
the house.
inside
He's
the
inside
dome.
I would freak out if they were inside the dome. Yeah. Well,
Well,
they
they-
always hide in the woods there. There's always like
Right.
a cabin
Totally.
somewhere, and it's like the dome is like 50 feet wide. Like you don't know there's.
So
a
did that
cabin.
recap it pretty well for you? Excellent. Well done, Troy.
You bet.
I'm still
And
confused.
somebody's in there. So, okay, I got a question before we jump in.
And Christine came out of the cocoon. Only her hand, though. Looks like the thing from Alien in the first movie.
And the cocoon looked like Mr. Hanky, but purple.
That was so awesome.
It was weird. Okay, so I got a question, Troy.
Yes.
We haven't read the book.
Okay.
No.
So,
It's
spoiler
enough
for the
to
book.
watch the show.
Right. Spoiler for the. This is us, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
We barely watch the show. We're so busy tweeting and
Tweeting
making
and
fun of
everything
things. You said at the end they barbecue the outside.
Inside.
No, not
They
inside
barbecue
the
inside
dome.
the
Inside
dome?
in the book. Yeah, so what happens in the book, basically, remember the propane story from season 1?
Yeah.
So the whole concept
Oh yeah,
is...
that was 3 weeks ago,
3
according
weeks
to the
ago,
time
yeah.
frame.
So the concept in the book is that Big Jim has his propane store at the radio station. Phil Bushy is actually in charge of making sure the drug is made and has all the
Okay.
propane. He actually has a garage door opener that can basically blow up the place if they're ever found out. The problem is they've all been using the drugs, and therefore, because they're using the drugs, they get into a firefight over the propane because they need it to power the town. Someone
Kind of
pushes-
what happened.
Kind of what happened. They push the garage door opener, and the entire thing goes up in flames and barbecues the entire place because there's all
The
this
inside of
propane.
the dome instead of the outside of the
It
dome.
looked like that.
Yeah, it looked exactly like
That's
that.
fantastic.
But in the dome. But so then when
Guess what? No sequel to that.
No, when the barbecue happens, then it like torches everybody,
So
including
this-
Big Jim, and then they only have like three
Oh,
three
that'd be
people
good
try to
eating, Big
they're-
Jim.
So the air is bad, or
Lot
like,
of back
please save
bacon
me,
on him.
please save me. And so they find out why the dome is there. They talk to whoever's there in order to save them, and then like 26 people survive the massacre of Chester's Mill.
The Massacre of Chester's Mill. Okay. Are you satisfied, Martha?
Am I ever? No.
No, probably not.
The reason for the dome is really, really bad. I'll tell you that in the book. It's really, really
Is
bad.
it a spider? Oh no, that's it.
No.
Spoiler, that's it.
No, this is Ant Farm. We'll call it Ant Farm.
All right. Uh-oh. You're not going to have nerd rage out there, are you? Well, yeah, it's completely changed. I have a question, though, for both of you. Does Julia wear the bandage on the outside of her pants in the book?
No.
Or is
No.
that a
She
creation?
really doesn't understand how wound care works.
Because she has
Yeah.
a wounded leg and wears a bandage on the outside of her pants.
And as a book person, I think
She
that's the
wraps
most
it around her
frustrating
jeans.
thing. Yeah.
How?
There's a chapter on how to properly tourniquet a
No.
leg?
Oh, for like 3 weeks?
Yeah.
No.
No, she's using it as a bandage.
On the
No, it's
outside
like
of your
a bandage.
pants.
Puts a tourniquet on the outside of your pants above
This is a
the
bandage.
wound, not on the wound.
This is a bandage.
Like a gauze
It says
bandage
Curad across it.
wrapped around her leg.
How dare you,
and
boys?
it switches
For
legs depending on
weeks.
which week it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, this has been 3 weeks of bandage on her pants.
So,
But in
okay.
the book, Julia is actually the best character of the book. So the fact that they made Julia
Well,
so
they wrote this
dumb-
differently.
Yeah, in the first 2 seasons. That's why I really like Julia's character in this 3rd season, because it's about time they made her more like book Julia. And Barbie's been the doo-doo head.
Is Barbie like Barbie in the book?
He's more military-like. He definitely partners with Julia, but he's, I would say, I guess, more stupider. Is that a word?
More
No.
stupider.
More stupider
think
than
stupider is
Julia.
enough.
Julia is definitely the brains.
Okay.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Is Junior...
Junior is
Junior's my
bat stuff
favorite.
crazy.
Is Junior as awesome as Junior is on the
he-
show?
is-
Junior
He
is
is
better
good
in the
in the
book.
Oh,
No, well, you can't be better than
Better than the book.
Does he wear
podcast
his,
marathon's over. We're going to read the book.
does he wear his cop uniform every day in the book?
He's never a cop in the book.
Oh,
Well,
come
he
on.
actually does become a cop later
I
on in the
can't
book.
read
He
that
does.
book.
He does become. But let me just tell you this: 2 dead girls in a closet plus Junior.
What? Oh. We need to read this, Marth.
It's good.
I don't know. We'll
Except
see.
for the ending, because Troy says no.
Well, you already know the ending because you already know what's happening in Chester's Mill, so you know who's behind the dome because they didn't say it was the same as the book, but it's the same as the
Spoiler,
book.
it's dumb.
It's dumb.
It's so fantastic, though. This season has been really fun.
Yeah, I have
It
to
has
say,
been.
it's
I
been
did
much
like this
better.
season, yeah.
Much better.
So, okay.
Especially when the third episode, not the first episode being 2 parts. So
Wait,
when
the first
third,
half
so
of the first
technically
episode was good.
Was fun.
Yes.
Second half,
But by the second episode, which was technically the third one,
So Redux,
then,
you liked Redux.
oh
yeah, Redux was
my
great.
gosh, that was when
Yeah.
they finally realized they're a B movie and they
That's
need
when
to
they
just
realized
have fun
awful
with this chaos
equals
and craziness
awesome.
and
Yes.
not try to be legit and just go with it. Just embrace your insanity.
And that's
Then
where
we
it has
know when
definitely
it's-
gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think this came up on our show this week. Like, could it be that they don't realize how bad it is? They have to. They have to realize, and that's why it's turned into Sharknado. When they make Sharknado, they know that it's bad, and they put in those elements to make you just go like, oh, this is fantastically bad.
Right.
Dome has done the same thing.
And I don't want to. Can we say the ending of Sharknado 4 or whatever, or 3
Everybody
or 2
dies.
or whatever?
Tornado comes.
Yeah. Well, no, this time the shark goes into space.
Shut up. Is that our Sharknado? I can't talk.
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like
Shark in space?
Shark in space.
Are they going to meet Jason?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh. He said Sharknado 3 is in space, or ended in space.
In space, right?
It didn't. Spoiler. Well, you didn't see that. Then how can you say?
Oh, wait. Jenny's mom saw Sharknado in space.
Totally unbelievable.
Yes.
Yes.
They both fall back into different sharks.
Oh, my God.
This is right. They ejected them into space, and they come back in re-entry.
Oh.
Okay.
And Tara Reid gives birth to a shark.
Oh, Lord.
Who gave birth to a shark?
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid has a
Now,
baby. The baby's born in the
Shut up.
shark.
Why are we talking about this? This is incredible. How come-
Does it make more sense than Under the Dome?
When do we get
No,
a
no.
crossover of Sharknado? When does the dome reign Sharknado?
When they go back to having catastrophic events inside the dome.
And inside that, you know where the dome was, the mini dome?
Yep, the
we
mini
could
dome.
have a little lavalantula happen.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
Exactly.
It's
Well, if-
all happening.
You know the pit?
Yes.
The pit where they all went out
The
of...
suck hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they just filled it with sharks.
Oh, that'd be good. Shark swimming in the cocoon.
Time
Goofy
plus
Cameron.
tragedy plus sharks
Okay.
make this show awesome.
Wait
Totally.
a second. Okay, on our last episode, I think the last episode, on episode 6 or whatever, Rob came up with
What?
a new game.
Cage.
Oh, we've got a game. We're playing a game.
Okay.
On Ejecta. Yeah, that's
And
right.
it was called...
Kill, turn,
Who-
marry.
no, not that one.
one.
I'll do that one in a
We'll do
little
that
bit.
one later. You get to play that too, Troy.
I'm excited.
Who said this? And
Oh,
so you
man.
had to try to figure out which character said this, okay?
Because the dialogue on this is
Now,
just
this-
under Shakespeare dialogue.
I only
This
got
could
one
be-
right during the trivia round earlier. So.
Okay, well, this could be any season, okay? I
Okay.
didn't pick... I only did 3.
Where's the dingers? We need the dingers.
Okay.
You know what?
Rob
I'm
and
not
I
gonna
facing
take
off to
10
your
minutes
questions.
You know what? There's no way we're going to need the dingers.
Okay, I chose them for specific reasons, but
Okay.
here we go. Well, Big Jim made me sheriff, and when people are at risk, I act.
Linda.
Wait, Big Jim made me sheriff, and when people resist, I act.
And when people are at risk, I act.
I would say Linda.
Hold on.
Keep going.
No, Junior wasn't
Junior was
made
never sheriff.
Anybody?
Oh no, he made
Yeah,
Phil
he wore
Bushy.
the uniform for like a whole year.
It was Phil Bushy.
But
It
Huh?
was Phil Bushy.
He was no. It's
Yeah.
the original sheriff. It's Sheriff Lobo. What was his name?
was-
No,
Sheriff
it was Phil Bushy.
It was Phil Bushy.
Phil Bushy.
It was the
oh,
DJ.
yeah, the DJ.
I'm like, who did he make sheriff? He made Linda sheriff, and he made Phil Bushy sheriff. Yeah.
And,
Yes.
Julia was sheriff
Julia-
for a minute.
But- Appointed
Big
herself
Jim
sheriff.
didn't make her sheriff.
Okay.
And then Christine was not sheriff. She was Sheriff Alien.
Right.
Okay,
And,
ready?
which sounds like an awesome show, doesn't it? Sheriff Alien.
Sheriff-
All right, are you ready for another one?
I'd watch that.
Which one?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Dodie and... Yeah,
Yeah,
Phil-
that's
Sheriff
Phil Bushy. Yep.
Hey, James, write
No,
Sheriff
he's dead,
Alien.
I think. Isn't Phil dead?
Phil's dead. He jumped
Phil's-
onto the stalactite when he jumped into
Okay.
the cave.
All right, you ready?
That was great.
That's awesome.
That was so great.
All right, here's quote number 2.
Now, is it a stalactite or a stalagmite? Which
All
one
right.
hangs down? Which one stands up?
Brown
ready?
stalagmite.
I'm ready.
Okay. I don't know, but now I'm off all my meds and my head is clear for the first time in like forever. Come on, man.
Joe. No, who'd be on meds? Everybody that writes this show.
Junior was on meds.
Oh, Junior.
Junior.
Is it Junior?
Junior?
Is it Junior?
I don't know, but
Wait,
now
say-
I'm off all my meds and my head is clear for the first time in like forever.
Oh,
Come
wait, no.
on,
It's
man.
Angie. Angie, you got my
Anybody?
number.
No.
What?
You have a
It's
guess?
not Angie.
No.
Off all my
Anybody
meds.
have a guess?
Throw it out there.
Ben.
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 Oh,
Didn't
recently,
that
this
sound
season.
Like a teenager.
And then shot dead or stabbed dead or something
Strangled.
dead. Strangled dead.
Strangled by the nightgown girl.
Okay, and I chose
Right.
I chose this one just because this character cracked me up so much. Okay. I hate Big Jim as much as you do, but taking another man's life, I know how much that costs. So let's try the science teacher's way first.
The science teacher.
I had to use it because he called her the science
The
teacher.
science teacher.
Lyle.
No?
Lyle's the best character. I wish he wasn't dead. Is he dead?
He's dead.
Can they bring him back? Why can't they bring him back?
All right.
That was Sam.
Did he?
No.
He fell on a stalagmite when Phil fell on a
All
stalagmite.
right, who is it?
I say it's Lyle.
No.
No. Then
All
it would
right,
be
who else has
Big
an idea?
Jim.
Guess?
it'd be Junior or Barbie then. There's not that many males
Well,
in town.
someone's talking about Big Jim, so it can't be him.
Right. So it's Barbie or Joe.
Joe.
Barbie. All right, you want to play Kill, Marry, Turn?
Sure.
Okay, so
Troy's
this is
been waiting
another-
for it. Don't act all nonchalant. He's like,
This
oh,
is
make it
another
happen.
game that Rob came up with on our show the other day. And
Who's this Rob guy?
He gave us 3 choices, and we had to decide who we would marry, who we would kill, and who we would turn. Okay,
Either
into-
from alien or if they're alien back
back
into human.
into human. Okay, so for
Kill,
you-
Marry, Turn.
I've got 3. Okay.
Okay.
This
Wait,
is
who
not-
gets,
this
who's
is
getting it?
mine?
Who's
You
getting it?
guys can do each one, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we're all doing it?
You two. Well, it's women. I made only men.
Right,
women
but is
for you.
like Troy doing them and then I'm doing
You
them?
guys
Or
choose. You guys each have to decide.
This is a
for the
collaborative
3.
effort.
Uh-huh.
The kinship
do it.
needs to stick together.
the kinship, yes.
Okay, Linda, Rebecca.
Wait, who's Rebecca?
She's
science teacher.
science teacher.
Rebecca Pine.
And Dodie.
Which one's Dodie? The
So you have
radio
to
girl, right?
Kill one of them, marry one of them, and
Dodie's the
turn
radio
one.
one, right?
Okay, so science teacher, radio station, and
Kill, Marry, Turn.
And Linda.
Kill Rebecca.
kill
Okay.
Rebecca.
Well, I mean, that's it. We're deciding
That's
that
a
one right now.
no-brainer.
Yep.
Do we marry or turn? We've got Dodie or who?
Linda.
Linda.
I would turn Dodie and I would marry Linda.
Okay, Rob, what would you do? Dodie was pretty freaking cool, and she had all that
Yeah,
music
Dodie was
knowledge.
pretty awesome, and I'm afraid
Yeah.
if we turn her, she knows how to turn like radio station stuff into other things.
That's why it'd be cool.
She's like MacGyver. Yeah, but that's more dangerous for me
You
if
could
I'm
have
living
a-
my life with Linda. If I'm living my life with Dodie, Linda might shoot herself accidentally.
You
because
could have a
But see, that's the thing.
conversation
She's
with
She's like
Dodie.
Barney Fife of Under the Dome.
So if you marry Linda, she could get stuck magnetized to a wall and accidentally die, and you take the inheritance. And if you're
yes!
you
win.
and if you're Dodie, then you have to worry about her wagging that finger at you all the time, going,
Yep.
"You didn't clean the stairs or take out the garbage."
We
with blood
turn
all
Dodie
over it."
because I think it'll be a more fun story,
Okay.
and we marry Linda.
All right, how about this one?
Okay,
I ended all these in eens. Okay, ready? Pauline.
Pauline.
Which one's Pauline?
She,
Big Jim's
Junior's
wife.
mom.
Oh, yep.
Okay. Pauline.
Isn't that interesting though? You said Pauline and I said Big Jim's wife. You said Junior's mom.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how you look at characters in this show and who they relate to.
Yes.
Because I didn't think of her ever as Junior's mom because she left him.
I think it's interesting. I've watched it for 3 years and I don't know any character names.
Okay, well, here we go. Are you ready? Pauline,
Pauline
Christine, and Maxine.
and Max.
Which one's Maxine?
Maxine
Max is the,
from the Fight
yes.
Club. Fight
We
Club.
don't talk about Fight Club.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
man.
Holy cow.
That's a
wait,
tough
wait,
one.
wait. Pauline, Maxine, Christine. Christine's already turned. I want to turn
You have to
Christine.
kill one of them.
No, I want to kill Christine.
I want to kill Christine too. Who wants to kill Christine? It's a bloodthirsty crowd.
I definitely want to kill Christine. Mary versus Turn.
Wow.
I would turn Maxine because I think it'd be interesting to see what kind of crazy she could pull off because she was pretty crazy.
Because she
in
was
that
pretty
first
crazy
season.
without turning, yes. And then we marry Pauline.
Yeah.
But then if we marry Pauline, we have to have Thanksgiving dinner with Junior and Big Jim.
That's okay. We could just lock
No,
them all up
she
in a room and
left
she can
Big
paint the whole
Jim.
time.
Oh, she left Big Jim. Yeah, but they're going to reconcile at least enough for him to come to
You'd
Thanksgiving
have to
once
have
in a while.
Thanksgiving
But then
dinner
Junior-
with
but
Sam.
He's got the
But
propane
Junior-
so they can deep fry the turkey.
But Junior comes to Thanksgiving in the police uniform.
That's a win. Okay, we've got a winner.
Okay, last one.
Oh, imagine how Thanksgiving smells with that.
All right,
shirt on.
I'm taking a turn here.
I think the turkey's spoiled. Oh, no, Junior's here.
Melanie,
Melanie?
Angie, Nori.
Nori. Oh.
Melanie.
That's
Which
easy.
one's Melanie?
You kill Melanie because she's in the wet nightgown all the
one who
time.
came out of the lake, who came back to
Oh,
life.
Melanie. Yeah, Melanie. I know who Nori and Angie are.
So you marry
no.
Angie, you turn Nori, and you kill Melanie.
Absolutely. That's a no-brainer.
Who did you
no-brainer.
kill?
Melanie.
We kill
yeah.
Melanie. Melanie has got to go.
She's already died once. It'll be easier.
She's died
She'd
twice.
come back. She comes
She's died
back.
twice. That's
And when
right.
she comes back, we take her out one more time.
Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Yep.
There
Three
you
strikes, you're
go.
out.
So those were our new games.
In the third story, we only have an arm left, and it turns into Skynet.
Okay. Do you want to give me one?
Oh, we got to think of one.
good thing
Okay.
of one.
Junior.
Oh.
Junior's always in the
I
mix.
love Junior. He's all
Well, we
kinds of
did
crazy.
easy ones for you, like Junior, Barbie, whatever. We do Junior. We do.
No, you gave me the
No,
farmer.
no. We do.
I gave you the farmer.
We do.
And
Rust-
Reverend Scoggins. You gave me
yeah.
Reverend Scoggins.
We're going to do Rusty,
Which one's Rusty?
Linda's fiance,
Oh.
outside the dome.
Rusty.
We do
Wait,
Rust-
he was the
Oh,
cop.
oh, wait a
the
minute.
Sheriff.
No, Rusty was the fire department guy.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, so
okay.
we do
Rusty.
We'll do Rusty.
We do Barbie's dad.
Barbie's dad and the construction worker guy from season 3 that got his head beat in with a baseball bat.
Yes. By Barbie.
Okay, you got to kill Rusty's dad. I mean,
Barbie's
dad. He's
Kill
a really
Rusty's
bad
dad,
guy.
too.
I would have to marry Rusty, and
Marry
then
Rusty.
turn the other guy.
And if you turn the other guy, then you're watching The Walking Dead because he was the guy in Terminus.
Right.
Yeah,
So now he's
see?
dead
Yeah.
and he turns. Yes.
Yes.
This show just got. We've
Way
got
better.
sharks, tarantulas, firebombing, and Walking Dead. Why don't they put zombies in the show? You know what's going to stink on this show? They've made it very clear in this last episode it's an infection, and they're going to cure the infection, and we're going to have to endure another year. I want it to go crazy. I don't want them to fix the infection. I want Walking Dead and aliens and like 4 of them surviving, and they keep surviving. No one really ever dies, and the ones that do come back is Melanie.
As long as they
No.
keep all the
Oh,
right
that's
people.
awful.
Yes.
Because we got to keep them all because we need them
But
for
they-
repopulation.
I want Joe to always be in peril, and you're always going to think, finally, it's the week, and then his shirt saves him
I
miraculously.
just want Joe to change the dang shirt. Is
Yeah,
that so
the
much
shirt.
to ask?
Well, you can't change the shirt because it's literally, it's like day by day by day. Julia's wearing the same white shirt this whole
No,
season
she
so
No,
wore
she
far.
had the one with the
cape.
cape thing.
Yeah, the
She
cape
wore
thing.
the cape shirt.
She has
everybody else
changed.
But she has the
changes
same
their
undershirt on,
clothes.
though. Like,
How are their clothes so clean when they're wearing the same thing day after day
Their hair
inside
looks
that
way better
dome?
than mine.
because of time
too.
travel. Didn't you see it this week? They went from 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock to
Yes.
6 o'clock
What
to
was
3
up with
o'clock.
that?
That
Now,
was annoying.
that was what you missed this week. They did time jumps all over the place, so they tell. You know how that's a story trick where you show one person's story at 1 o'clock, then you show them at 6 o'clock, and then you go back and you show another pair's at 1 o'clock, but they didn't stay true to that form. They went 1 o'clock for this, and then 6, and then 1 o'clock,
And
6, and then it go back to
3:45.
3,
3 o'clock, and then
you're
7.
like, wait, what? Where
Yeah.
are we? And whose
It-
story
It
is
did
it?
not work this week at all.
Like it's not confusing enough when it's just linear.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
they
if-
just started jumping around. I'm like, now I'm lost. Now I'm really bad.
You know when you watch
And there's no
Memento, how if you go back and watch it,
That's a
it
great
makes
movie.
so much
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
And
this did
it's
not.
out of order, but it's in order, like it's backwards. Take all the notes that made that, take the film, clip it into all the little parts, throw it in a blender, try and reassemble it with duct tape so there are big scratchy things that don't make sense, put a bandage over the front of it, and that was this week's episode.
and had the timer countdown from 24.
Yes.
Yes.
Chug, chug, boop, chug, chug, boop. Where was Jack Bauer in this?
That was
would have been
about
awesome.
it.
I know.
Well,
Wow.
Sam got over his
Damn it.
alcoholism in record time.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we're deep into season 3. I want to hear predictions. Do you think we're getting a season 4?
Season 4.
I'm not saying story predictions. There's no way to predict it other than they're going to cure the infection.
Because and this is the thing that really frustrated me about this episode, because I was so looking forward to these comments, and it was like 2 seconds of the episode, so it really peeved me off from that perspective.
Yeah.
Because as a book reader, there's 2 things that we always wanted. One was the radioactive apple orchard where the dome generator is, because that would look really cool on TV. The second thing was the giant fireball barbecue of people. Got one of those this week, right at the end, which was good. So we still need the radioactive
Outside of the
fog.
dome, though, not
But
inside
outside
of the dome.
So because they did the outside of the dome thing, if this one person that's alive is truly outside of the dome, and they're like the last human on the earth outside the place, I mean, that storyline is so poor that I don't want to watch the last 6 episodes.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I want that person to be inside the dome and be one of those other characters that just comes out of the woodwork that we haven't met yet. And what about Eric LaSalle? Eric LaSalle, Acteon Energy CEO, he was supposed to be a big story arc for season 3, and we only saw him in the opening.
Yeah, they killed him. Melanie killed him, and then Melanie got killed.
Well, Melanie killed Don Barbara.
Oh, I thought.
So Eric LaSalle was the African American that was talking to Don Barbara that told him to go get the egg.
Right. Yeah,
He's
he was
supposed to be a big character.
really. He was irrelevant.
Totally irrelevant.
Yep.
Unless they go back and make it a dream, and he comes back and he's a character.
Well, it's all a dream. They're still in the cocoons. That's the theory.
That's what I think too. Do you think that,
I
Mark?
absolutely think that.
It's either an infection, they're going to cure it, and everything goes back to normal, or they're in the cocoon.
I think they're just going to cure the infection. I don't think it's.
I think if they're in the cocoons, it's
gets
even
me
worse than
thinking.
we thought.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're just going to cure the infection and move on with another threat.
Well, you're going to like this theory. We had a listener call into our show, and they said the reason why this thing is so bonkers and why it doesn't make sense at all, and it really plays off of The Dark Tower from Stephen King, because this kind of concept happens in The Dark Tower too, is that the dome is actually Stephen King's head. And every time Stephen King thinks of a new thing, that's when it happens in the dome. That's why there's like no asthma, or skateboarder, girl pops out of lake, fireballs come from sky. It's just Stephen King's thoughts.
And that would work if it was Stephen King working on this.
Exactly.
So the whole dome,
So the whole
end of the dome is the inside of his head?
Inside of Stephen's brain, and the whole point is when they get out.
That's scary.
It's more like under the dome would be Big Jim's head, because it looks like a dome.
No, it would be Big Jim's belly.
Yeah.
Under the gluten belly.
And Olivia always says that he shops at Baby Gap.
But it was the only theory that made sense. I was like, it actually makes this show make sense.
I think they take story elements, throw them in a hat, mix them up in a blender, pull them out, and then boom.
Well,
that's what they got.
The way we thought about it, though, is it's very tied to Falling Skies season 5 this year. If you've noticed, there's like this, we're looking up at the moon where the power core in season 4 of Falling Skies was. So what we're thinking is the cocoons are actually the start of the Ishveni invasion, because it's an Amblin television property and it's a crossover event.
That would be a lot more interesting, and there is absolutely no way that's happening.
I know. Except that they're borrowing the resources from each show for each other.
They're going to do the thing that they did on Mike Tyson Adventure Mysteries.
Oh my gosh, greatest show ever.
And they've got the moon, and the Earth is going to impregnate the moon, and they're going to use because they have the amniotic fluid all over Christina's area there.
Yes.
Gross.
Now, you guys actually...
Let me just put this out there. Gross.
You guys actually think they put thought into this, and that amuses me. But I'm pretty sure that every week they just go, let's try this. Let's try that.
I honestly have no idea right now, because they're literally collecting the international paycheck and the Amazon Prime paycheck. That's how they pay for the show. They're in the black before it ever airs on CBS.
Right.
So they don't give a darn tootin' about the viewers as long as these checks
That's what
clear.
we were saying that last year, too. Like, we keep talking about the ratings, but they really, truly don't matter.
They don't. And when you go back to the first season, this was originally a Showtime property.
Oh, was it?
It was originally a Showtime property with Brian K. Vaughan at the helm, which would have been a great show.
Oh, please.
And then they said, no, we don't want it for Showtime, and Nina Tassler got involved, and let Les Moonves, and let's put it on CBS.
Then it became this.
And then it became this. So I think that was the issue.
And here we are.
Well, we're
3
over.
And a
years
season
later.
4 is probably going to happen.
That's it.
Kill us
We're
now.
done.
Kill us now.
All right.
So thank you for listening, everybody. That was our Under the Dome Roundtable. Troy, thank you for joining us. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Check him out on Under the Dome Radio. We're on the Chester's Mill Report.
And a quick plug for Ben.
Yes.
So Ben, for underthedomeradio.com, that's our show, we have a thing on the side of the page where we do propane tank donations. So for all of season 3, underthedomeradio.com is donating all of our propane tank donations to Ben and his family.
Yes.
So
very nice.
as of today, we're going to be making sure the charity gets a check for $200 at this point.
Woo!
So
done.
thank you to the Under the Dome listeners. The kinship will stay intact forever.
Yeah.
How brilliant is it that you got a propane?
Yeah, that's
donation,
really
yeah.
great. And we're on audio only right now on Meerkat, but we still are on YouTube, and this will switch back. Go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com. You can click on the GoFundMe there for Ben's Warriors. That will help support them. We've got all of our past episodes of Chester's Mill Report and all of our podcasts there. Find both of our shows on iTunes and Stitcher. Do you guys have an app for yours?
We do not have an app for Under the Dome because we didn't want to sink the money into it in case
I get
season
that.
4 didn't happen.
I get that. Don't sink it.
I really liked what you said, though, when you were talking at the start about how the
So did I.
network-
Let's talk about it.
About how the network started from Under the Dome, because for me, that was actually my first podcast as well, was Under the Dome.
Under the Dome?
Yeah, so if we hadn't done Under the Dome, we never would have met.
True.
We never would have found out we actually live in the same area here in Chicago.
Right.
And this might not have happened.
And you wouldn't have been in the Blue Box.
Yes, this is true. A
So-
fantastic facility.
Thank you, Blue Box. Let's hear it for them. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back with the next show, Wrestling Authority, coming up momentarily.